Next method I'm going to show you is video layers. So we'll make a new one. We'll create a new video timeline. All the same as before. So timeline frame rate, we have to do this again. Let's make it, I'm going to make it 12 frames. That's as though, actually, I'll make it 24 for this and 12 for the next one. So 24 for this one. And now we're going to make a new kind of layer. This is a technique that I always avoided until I actually had to animate a lot of stuff for Phantom Limb. So you go to layers, video layers, new blank video layer, and then I'll create this new video layer. It's got this like a little tiny icon, it's different. And that essentially means like this is a timeline, and every time you shift a frame, it's going to be a new image. So it's like a whole bunch of frames all rammed into one layer. It took me a long time to get into this method because it's a little bit of a jump into the darkness. Because unlike Flash, you can't see the lines between all these keyframes. You can't see little images of what they might be. You don't know if there's going to be drawings on them. So you have to be quite organized with how you deal with it. This is particularly good for drawing, for doing straight ahead animation, effects animation. And the other thing that's really good for is cleanup and color, because it just condenses everything to one layer, and it's quite quick then to use. Okay, so we've got our new layer, and this is where shortcuts, timeline hotkeys come in really handy. So left and right can toggle between frames, forward and back, much like the comma and full stuff in Flash. I'm going to get my brush, and I'm going to show you, this is kind of like the style that's really, well, not the style, but this is like a version that's quite good for animating this way. So I've got a little dot. So something's quite simple is what I'm trying to say. Animating quite simple stuff is good for this one. So I've got this little dot, and this time around we're going to use onion skins, enable onion skins. So what onion skins do is show you before and after as like a little overlay. Typically, I set that to a hotkey, Control Y, and I'll do that later on, but just for speed, we're gonna ignore that. So now all I'm doing is I'm just drawing straight ahead. So I'll say, okay, that's the first frame, this is the second frame, this is the third frame, and each time I'm just pressing right to move through these little things. So I've got my little dot, he's sort of chilling out, and then I'm gonna make him go whoop, quite far, and then slow down. So this is like a really, really good way to experiment with timing, spacing, without having a to worry about anatomy and things like that. So if you're looking for a just a way to play with animation, this is a really, really good sort of way to work. And if you're thinking maybe I want to see more than one frame, you can go to onion skin settings. Before and after, I'll make it 2 before, 2 after. You can also change from multiply to these different things, and you'll find that different drawings will be more useful. Multiply is pretty solid for black on white drawings though. Okay, so you can see I toggle through as I'm flipping through the flipbook. Okay. Maybe with that. I don't know how this is going to look. That's why it's kind of fun to do things this way. If you've seen the film I worked on, Phantom Limb, all of the gooey effects were done this way. I think gooey's kind of been it's been used a lot in the last couple of years. So if you're wondering how they're doing it, it's probably similar to the straight ahead method. All right, so I'm going to turn off onion skin settings. I'm going to turn off onion skin, and now I'm just going to play. Okay, so it's quite a like energetic little animation, and of course, yeah, of course you can make the feeling of your animation however you want, but that's kind of how it's working. Video layers, it takes a while to get your head around things. As far as, well, it took me a while to get my head around things. So there's lots of little things that you're like, okay, well, I kind of want to put a frame in between here, but I can't really see between these two things. All you need to do is go to layer, video layers, and then maybe you want to insert a blank frame, and that's going to push all of these frames back and put a blank frame in here. And that probably seems kind of crazy because you can't see what's between, you can't really sort of gauge. It's not the most intuitive way of working, but later on I'll show you all the hotkeys I use for that, and it becomes a little bit more intuitive. It just becomes sort of muscle memory. Like any software package does after a while. So there's just a bit of barrier for entry in that one. Okay, so there's that, which is a pretty fun way to